This is the meeting of the Guam Election Commission. It is Friday, July 1st, 2022, 3:23 p.m. This meeting is called to order. It's a Guam Election Commission regular meeting held in the GEC Conference Room, second floor, Oka Building, Tamuning, Guam. We are live stream as well. Public notice requirements, Maria, all met?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I apologize. We're testing a new mic system, so commissioners and legal counsel, if you need to speak, red means it's on, the mic is hot. Green is mute, you pause. All right? So if you need to speak, just hit that picture of a person speaking on your console there. Okay, so there's nothing here with regard to our members present, but I will call for the record. All right, members present would be myself, Alice Tarhan, Guam Election Commission Chairperson, Democrat Representative. To my right, we have Mr. Jerry Crisostomo, Guam Election Vice Chair person, Vice, right, or co-chairperson? Vice Chairperson, Republican Representative. We have an excused absence to our right for Ms. Antonia Gumatauto. With us is Benny Panaula, Republican Representative. To his right, we have G. Patrick Seville, our independent representative. To my left, we have Guam Election Commissioner Joseph P. Mofnas, Democrat Representative. And to his left is Carissa Pangilinan, Democrat Commissioner, Democrat Representative for the Commission. Also present is our legal counsel, Vicente Camacho, and our Executive Director, Maria Pangilinan. Is it Vincent or Vicente? What does it say? I apologize, it's Vincent. Sorry, Vince.
It's all right.
Okay, all right. So we do have a quorum present. I need approval of the agenda. A motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Mofnas and seconded by Commissioner Pinawa. Approval of our minutes from June 2nd, 2022, GEC regular meeting. I hope everybody's had a chance to review it.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minute as stand subject for correction.
There's a motion to approve the agenda from June 2nd, subject to technical corrections?
Correction.
Technical corrections. Okay.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Pinella. Okay. All approved? Yeah. Okay. So today we have the ratification and drawing of numbers for our candidates, right?
Madam Chair, I'd like to motion to move items 6A, I, 1 and 2, and items 8B to the top of the agenda.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So that we're aware, so that the public is aware, we're moving to the top of the agenda, the Executive Director's report on the 2022 primary election, the election timeline, and the ratification of candidates, and the drawing for ballot placement. We are also moving to the top of the agenda, item 8B, which is the voter initiatives. Right? Okay. Executive Director's report, item 6A, 2022 primary election.
Madam Chair, pursuant to 48 U.S.C. Section 1422 and 3 GCA Section 6110, and based on their filing with the Guam Election Commission for the 2022 primary election, the following candidates for Governor of Guam, together with the Lieutenant Governor of Guam, have met the requirements. For the Democratic Party of Guam, Leon Guerrero Lourdes Afalgui and her running mate Tenorio Joshua Franquez. San Nicolas Michael Franklin Kitugua with his running mate Matanani Sabrina Salas. For the Republican Party of Guam, Camacho Felix Perez and his running mate Ada Vicente Anthony Borja. Pursuant to 48 U.S.C. Section 1713 and 3 GCA 6110, and based on their filing with the Guam Election Commission for the 2022 primary election, the following candidates for non-voting delegate to the House of Representatives have met the requirements. For the Democratic Party of Guam, Nelson Telena Cruz, Juan Pat Judith T. For the Republican Party of Guam, Moylan James C. Pursuant to 5 GCA Section 30101 and 3 GCA Section 6110, and based on their filing with the Guam Election Commission for the 2022 primary election, the following candidates for the Attorney General have met the requirements. Camacho Leven Titano, Moylan Douglas Brian Kiola. Madam Chair, pursuant to 48 U.S.C. Section 1423 and 3 GCA Section C110, and based on their filing with the Guam Election Commission for the 2022 primary election, the following candidates for Mina 37 na legislatura in Guam have met the requirements. For the Democratic Party of Guam, Ananich John Albert II, Barnett Darrell Christopher, Bordalio Fred E. Jr., Dominguez Armando Silva, Duenas Alexander Michael, Duenas David R., Gamboa Roy Lawrence, Marsh Titanook Kelly G., Menu Franklin James, Munya Barnes Tina Rose, Nediduk Sarah M. Thomas, Parkinson William Mark, Paris Sabina E., Kinata Roy Anthony Beneventi, San Augustine Joe Shimizu, San Nicolas Dwayne Thomas Diaz, Santos Angela Therese, Savares Jonathan J., Shelton Amanda Lee, Terlahi Jose Tovis, and Terlahi Therese M. For the Republican Party of Guam, Blas Frank Flores Jr., Borja Vincent A.V., Brown Joanne Marie, Catling Ian Dale, Chrysostomo David Walter, Duenas Christopher M., Egna Harvey, Fisher Thomas Joseph, Leon Guerrero Joaquin V., Lujan Jesse Anderson, Mabini Young Shirley A., Mindiola Bistra Ivanova, Seo Sandra Regis, Taihiron Marianne Silva, Taitagui Tello Teresa, Taitanu Michelle Hope.
Can I get a motion from our commissioners to ratify the candidates for the gubernatorial race, the delegates race, the AG's race, and our legislative races as pronounced by Maria Pangilinan?
Madam Chair, I move a motion to approve as announced by the Executive Director in accordance with and pursuant to 48 U.S.C. 1422 and 3 GCA 6110, based on their filing with the Guam Election Commission for the 22 primary election for the parties for Democrat, for governor, for delegate, for attorney general, and for senatorial candidates.
We have a motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. All those opposed? Nay. Motion carries. We have just ratified the candidates for these races this upcoming election. All right. We're a little early with regard to placement, Maria. Would you like us to recess so you can set everybody up? Or shall we proceed? The what?
8B.
Oh, which one is that? The drawing?
No, 8B.
Oh, the initiative.
We moved it to the top, ma'am.
We don't have all the candidates here for drawing, and we initially were going to start at 4 o'clock. So what we're going to do is we're going to move to item 8B, the voter initiative. Discuss that, and by 4 o'clock, we're hoping that candidates will arrive. All right? Okay. So item 8B, voter initiative. This is under new business. Maria?
Yes, ma'am. So on page 30 of your packet, these initiatives were submitted by Mr. Ken Leon Guerrero. It was sent to our legal counsel, and our legal counsel can review these initiatives, and he'll report on his findings.
Legal counsel?
Ma'am, so legal counsel and I discussed that at this time, 10 days after submission of the initiatives, we are required to notify the submitter of the initiatives that either there's unrelated subjects or there's related subjects in the initiative. In the measures, legal counsel has reviewed all 6.
Madam Chair, we reviewed all 6 initiatives and did not find any unrelated subjects in the initiatives, and therefore we recommend that the Guam Election Commission notify the proponents of the measures that have been submitted, that we can move forward to the next step, which is to provide a summary. The legal counsels must draft the summary of each initiative before it gets to the board for approval or certification, so that the petitions can be sent out for signatures. So I think the deadline for the is 25 days after the submission, and so I believe, Tom, I gave you the calendar. I think it's July 21st, 25th. So July 25th, we should provide the commissioners with a summary of each of the initiatives that needs to go out.
So by
Actually,
July...
I should stand corrected. So some of these proposed measures may not necessarily be initiatives. They may be referendums. And the difference is an initiative is an attempt to enact law that does not exist. A referendum is an attempt to repeal or amend a statute that does exist on the books already. And so we will make that determination when we provide the summary.
So a response to the individual who submitted these referendums and/or initiatives is due by July 25th.
Well, our summary is due by
Your summary.
by the 25th. So the response that's due today to the proponent is that the initiatives can move forward, or the measures can move forward.
Do you need action from the commissioners to first respond to the proponent?
No, this is just strictly for informational purposes. The law provides that legal counsel will make that determination, whether it proceeds. We've made that determination. The next step would be to provide the summaries.
Benz, I'm just kind of curious, right, before we get into the other matters at hand, is that going to take up a lot of our time?
The initiatives?
Yeah.
Or it can,
Okay. The research and the,
yes.
okay.
And so we'll do our best to provide, the law pretty much sets the parameters of how long the summaries have to be. And then, so there's sort of 2 steps to the process. The first process is to certify the measure in order to move on and start collecting signatures and prepare for the general election. So we're still in that first phase, which is to determine whether the initiative can move to the petition stage for certification.
All right. Was there anything else that you needed to discuss?
No,
go
not
to
with
that?
this,
Okay.
not
So-
with regard to the measures.
All right. So we can get that letter out to the proponents and begin the work on that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to recess? We're going to take about a 5 to 10-minute recess. We're going to move things around so that candidates are able to come up and draw for placement, right? As soon as everybody gets here, or most everybody, right? So recess, it is 3:39. Hopefully we'll be back by 3:49? 3:49, 4 o'clock, okay, 4 o'clock. So we're recessed until 4 o'clock. We're going to set things up for the drawing, the ballot placement. All right, thank you. for a little bit. So Maria, we just ratified our candidates for the gubernatorial team, the delegate, the attorney general, and the legislative race. We will now proceed with the placement for the ballot placement for the 2022 primary election. Maria will, the executive director will begin with the instructions and directions for that.
The 2022 primary election ballot placement drawing procedures. Because the Democratic Party is in the majority at the legislature, the Democratic candidates for each office will be called first. The Guam Election Commission chairperson, Alice Tyron, will draw names of the Democratic Party candidates. Vice Chairman Jerry Crisostomo will draw names of the Republican Party candidates, and Independent Commissioner Patrick Seville will draw names for the nonpartisan candidates. Names of the candidates have been placed in glass bowls. Drawing will take place for only those offices that have more than one candidate per party. As each candidate's name is called, the candidate or his or her designee will come up to draw for ballot placement. Numbers have been placed in covered woven boxes, and the woven baskets have been placed randomly in a basket labeled for each office and party. The candidate or his or her designee will select one of the woven boxes and announce his or her ballot placement. There are 2 teams of GEC employees behind me to act as recorders. They will document the order in which each candidate's name is pulled and their corresponding ballot placement number. After the last candidate of each group is pulled, after the last candidate of each group pulls his or her number, candidates in that group will exit the room. Good luck, congratulations, and Sizuas Maasi.
I'm pulling for the gubernatorial team. All right. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. St. Nicholas Michael Franklin Kittigwa, Matanani Sabrina Salas. Please come forward. Yes, yeah. Pick any box. You can open it. And then announce your number. Oh, we need the basket back. Number 2. Thank you. You can hold it, or we just want the basket. Leon Guerrero, Lourdes Affligui, Tenoria Joshua Franquez. Thank you, Governor. So, did you want to keep that? You want to keep that? Yeah. Yeah. We just want the basket.
She'll give you the basket.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, in the order,
Yeah, non-voting delegate to the United House of Representatives.
Wampad, Judith T. Pulling for Wampad Judith T. is Mr. John Titano, her representative. I know, right? Just turn it around. You can keep that? You can keep it, yeah, if you like. We just want the basket. Nelson Talina Cruz. You can keep it if you want, yeah.
That's okay. It's gonna be trash.
Thank you.
Office of the Attorney General.
Thank you. Douglas Brian Keola Moylan. Number two, all right. Levin Titano Camacho.
Calling for leave-in is Miss Lolita. You can keep the number, but we want the basket.
Number one, there it is. Okay, well done. Got it? Yeah.
Okay. So what am I pulling for? Okay. Okay, so we're going to allow the legislative candidates in, Democrat legislative candidates. So, yeah. We've just pulled for the gubernatorial and the AG's office. We will now be pulling for the 37th Guam legislature, Democrat candidates. Now, does the sound go outside? Are you going to repeat the rules? Yeah. So, Jerry. Can't take it around. Who? For the legislature? Yeah.
So David Rodriguez, one of these guys can pull for
Okay, he doesn't have a rep? Okay, so I'll just make that clear. Okay.
Just teasing, just teasing.
So if we have all our Democrat candidates for the 37th Guam legislature in, all right. Yeah. Maria, would you like to give the instructions to the candidates, or would you like me to do the condensed version? Huh? Okay. So if we can close the door. Are we ready to proceed? All right. Maria, go ahead.
Because the Democratic Party is in the majority of the Guam legislature, the Democratic Party candidates for each office will be called first. The Guam Election Commission chairperson, Alice Tyron, will draw names of the Democratic Party candidates. Vice Chairman Jerry Crisostomo will draw names of the Republican Party candidates, and Independent Patrick Seville has drawn names for the nonpartisan candidates. Names of candidates have been placed in glass bowls. Drawing will take place for only those offices that have more than one candidate per party. As each candidate's name is called, the candidate or his or her designee will come up to draw for ballot placement. Numbers have been placed in covered woven baskets, and the woven baskets have been randomly placed in a basket labeled for each office and party. The candidate of his or her designee will select one of the woven boxes and announce his or her ballot placement. There are 2 teams of GEC employees to act as recorders. They will document the order in which each candidate's name is pulled and their corresponding ballot placement number. After the last candidate of each group pulls his or her numbers, candidates will exit the room. Congratulations, good luck, Zansiduus Maasi.
Do we have any questions? All right. This is the glass bowl with everybody's names in it, and I'll pull the first. Mano, Franklin James. Pull from one of these baskets. Pull the sheet out, it will have your number. Yeah. You can keep the... yeah. So when you pull your number, you're free to take the number with you. We just want the baskets back. Okay. Okay. Vice Speaker Munoz, Barnes, Tina Rose. If we do not have a representative, oh, we do, okay, perfect. What's your name, young man? What's your name? What's your name? Huh? Polling for Vice Speaker Tina Munoz Barnes is Tatum. Pull any basket. You can open it. Yep. What's the number? Wow, number 1. There you go. So you can keep that. You can keep that. Give to Grandma, okay? Good number. Wow. Okay. Bordalio Fred E. Jr. Go Fred. Number 12. Ananich, John Albert II. John? Or- What's your name? Naomi Anderson. Pulling for John Ananich is Naomi Anderson. Yes, any. Yeah, anyone. Call it to the camera. Yeah. Number 14. Parkinson, William Mark. And pulling for William is his beautiful wife, Camille. Number 8. Thanks. Yes. Lucky 8. Barnett, Darrell Christopher. Any
7.
Lucky number 7. St. Nicholas, Dwayne Thomas Diaz. Number 18. Shelton Amanda Lee. Hi. What's your name, Edie? Allie? Ellie Ryan. Pulling for Miss Amanda is Ellie Ryan Shinahara. Go for it. Any basket. There you go. What number? Number 13. Show the camera. Show the camera. Yeah. Thank you, sweetie. There you go. So cute. San Augustine, Joe Shimizu. Pulling for Senator San Augustine is his sister, Ann Leon Guerrero. Any number, Ann. Any basket. The pressure. Santos, Angela Therese. Did we get the basket back? Did we get the basket? Oh, we. Okay. Savaras, Jonathan J. Number 6. Kinata, Roy Anthony Beneventi. Marsh, Titano, Kelly G.
I always seem to pick like number 21 or something.
Good. 16, yay. Perez, Sabina E. Okay. Duenas, David R. So Mr. Duenas isn't present, and we do have the Election Commission staff who will draw a number for him.
Number 15.
Terlahi, Jose Tovez.
Number 10.
Your name? Can you say your name? Okay.
Ethan Camacho. Oh, okay.
Number 10.
It's not here. So that was Ethan Camacho pulling for Senator Terlahi. Netadog, Sarah Thomas. So you're Sarah's son, right? Clifton Netadog will be pulling for his mom. There you go. Nice. You can keep that in the basket.
You can keep it in the back.
Dominguez Armando Silva. Any basket here? Yes, yes. Okay, just show the camera, show everybody. He pulled number 20.
Oh, you can keep it. You can keep it.
Okay. Gamboa Roy Lawrence. Oh, the pressure. God, you guys make this so hard. Duenas Alexander Michael.
What do you have? Number 11.
Yay. Congratulations. Congratulations. Terlahi, Therese M. Thank you.
Yeah. Sizos Masi, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Good luck.
And then you shook it up, right?
You want to read it? You want to do it? Okay. Good afternoon. Because the Democratic Party is in the majority at the Guam legislature, the Democratic candidates for each office was called first. The GEC chairperson, Alice Tyron, has drawn the names for Democratic Party candidates. Vice Chairman Jerry Crisostomo will draw names of the Republican Party candidates, and Independent Commissioner Patrick Seville drew names for the nonpartisan candidate. Names of the candidates have been placed in glass bowls. Drawing will take place for only those offices that have more than one candidate per party. As each candidate's name is called, the candidate or his or her designee will come up to draw for ballot placement. Numbers have been placed in covered woven boxes, and the woven baskets have been placed randomly in a basket labeled for each office and party. The candidate or his or her designee will select one of the woven boxes and announce his or her ballot placement. There are 2 teams of GEC employees to act as recorders. They will document the order in which each candidate's name is pulled and their corresponding ballot placement number. After the last candidate of each group pulls his or her numbers, candidates will exit the room. Sizuus Maasi, congratulations and good luck.
Okay, welcome Republican candidates. I will call your name. Come up and pick a number. And please return the basket. First name is Mabini Young Shirley A. Then just return the basket.
What am I going to show?
Camera. Number 16. Thank you. Keep it. Next name, Kathleen Iandale. Number 14. Egna Harvey. Number 15. Yep, it goes next. Yeah. Okay. Mendiola Bistra Ivanova. Pick any basket there. Number 13.
You can take the number, but we just want to
Basket. Okay. Duenas Christopher M. Number 9. Luhan Jesse Anderson. And he's represented by Marvin Crisostomo. Number 2. Fisher Thomas Joseph. Anyone? Lucky basket. Number 3. Brown Joanne Marie.
Whichever one you like, okay? Uh-oh. Okay, what number is it? Show everybody, whatever number it is, okay? Okay, you can show everyone, make it official.
Number 11. Okay. Can keep the number.
Make it official, buddy.
There you go, congratulations.
Titano Michelle Hope. And Gavin Duenas will represent Michelle Titano. Number 5. Taitagui Tello Teresa. Number 12. Chrysostomo David Walter. Any one of those. Ooh. Number 1.
You can keep the number.
Leon Guerrero Joaquin V. Number 7, lucky 7. Borja Vincent A.V. We'll have a GEC representative pick.
Number 9.
Number 9. Tyron Marianne Silva. I think so. Number 10.
Good job. You can keep that, sweet. You can keep it.
So which one is? So Christopher Duenas was actually number 6, not number 9, right? Yep. They had it upside down. Sue Sandra Regis. Number 4. Maria, there's one more, but there's no Blas here. You're missing one candidate here. Frank Blas. Blas. I'll just call his name. Blas Jr. Frank. The commission will pick, right? Yeah, commission.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Thank you very much.
So that was the ballot placement. Thank you all for being here with us. Good luck and congratulations to all. We will now reconvene or come back to our regular schedule. Maria, you need to make sure we call Chris Duenas. We need to call Chris Duenas. Yeah. So, Maria will call Senator Duenas to make that correction and apologize on behalf of the commission. So we don't need a motion or anything. We can go back to the regularly scheduled agenda. I'm hoping that the commissioners will, if we can just get through this as opposed to just recessing or adjourning and putting this in our next agenda. Let's see what we can do to finish. All right, Maria, so let's start with our correspondence. Can we do that?
We reached out to Guam Visitors Bureau for visitor security officers, so they've helped us. On page 5, we've reached out to the president of Guam Visitors Bureau, and so they're giving us the VSOs, and they also helped us get low-T parking and satellite parking. So we got both. Thank you.
I do have to ask, and this might come up, if there was a discussion in our previous meeting with regard to the plan for transportation and that entire early voting site.
Yes.
Is that ready?
Ma'am, we are only signing, I haven't signed the contract yet, so we will sign it today, July 1. Today's the day we sign the contract. They are, Weston is still working with us with regard to the
So I
plan.
think the commissioners
Yes.
need to see the plan with
Yes,
regard
ma'am.
to how to transport, how we're going to address the accessible parking, right, and people coming down. So
Thank
if
you.
you can get that as soon as possible, I appreciate it. Do we have any questions for the executive director regarding the May 27th correspondence? All right, no questions, Maria?
The next correspondence is from Mr. Camacho about the signs. Those, the sign that they're talking about is right on East Agana. It has been confirmed that that sign is private property.
Yeah. There's actually a sliver where that sign is, that's actually private property owned, so.
Okay, next correspondence is from the court, from the Superior Court of Guam. They're required to give us a list of those that have been judged incompetent. We have the list, and we will be purging them from our roster.
Okay. Do you have any?
Is that every year they give that to us?
Every election, yes.
How many I'm just curious.
Oh,
There's like 3 or 4 or?
no, there's quite a few.
Really?
Yeah, but quite a few of them are not registered. Most of them are not registered
And that's just people deemed incompetent? A
by the
deemed
judge.
incompetent. Wow,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
The next one is with the Summer Youth Employment Program. If you've been here since they've started, we have 13 of them floating around. They're helping us, they're really helping us file our DMV forms.
Okay. Any questions on the correspondence discussion? All right, Maria, please move on to item
6.2.
6A2.
Okay.
I mean, 6AII.
Okay, so for the next meeting, we will bring to you, we are working with getting the formal approval from the mayors to use their offices as district registration. All 18 mayors, not in Hagåtña, oh, shoot, sir, ma'am, sorry. I don't know, should Hagåtña have district registration? Because normally we don't have district registration in Hagåtña. We have it because we're there. But now we're here, and we will open, and Tamuning gets really busy, so we'll continue to open for Tamuning. We will open all 19 villages this time, ma'am. For district registration, yes, at the mayor's office. So this will be the first time Hagåtña will be hosting district registration.
And that's somewhat optional, correct? For them? Is that optional? Or do they have to
No.
host?
Gosh, that's because by law we have to have district registration. For years we haven't had it in Hagåtña because we take care of it. I don't know if it's in the law or GAR.
Okay. Yeah,
We'll
look
check.
into that, and then,
Yes.
so district registration begins
August 5th.
August 5th. Now, that being said, is that when the party registrars stop?
Yes, ma'am. That, online voter registration, and the motor voter registration.
The only way to register and/or transfer would be through the district registration offices
And GEC.
and GEC. Okay.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Madam, excuse me, Maria, going back to Hagåtña, so you got to check with the Hagåtña mayor to see whether they can use the facility for the district registration, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Item 3Is. Triple I, precinct officials and poll maintenance workers.
July 6th is the deadline for the parties to turn in their precinct officials. We've called all the schools already about poll maintenance workers. At the next meeting, we will have a list for you to approve.
May I ask the commissioners, precinct officials is a difficult job. We all know that, right? They have several days of training and then they have to come in early. Is there any way at this point in time, if we can increase the pay, are we seeing a difficult time attracting people? Even people who've done it before and don't want to do it just because of the time. Can we, at the very least, maybe the person who's in charge increase their pay? Like, I don't know, 500, and then the ones below them, what do they call it? The precinct manager person? The precinct leader? And then the ones below them maybe at 400? Because they have a greater responsibility, correct? Yeah, so
Yes,
the
ma'am.
pay right now is 350 for all 5 of them. The precinct leader has greater responsibility, right? And they come in at 5:30 in the morning, they come in the day before, and so forth. So if it's possible, can we add an additional, do we need legislative approval for this? Can you just look into it?
Yes, ma'am. It's in the law that we shall pay them 350.
That part I understand, but if there's another route to go to add an additional, Yeah, an incentive, or I know incentive is not the word that we use, but if there's some other way to add, give them additional pay to attract them, right? If it's, can you please look into that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so look into that.
Yes, I'd gladly look
Um,
into it.
Shoot. Dang. The other thing I wanted to bring up to the commissioners while we're on this, right, with regard to precinct officials and pole maintenance workers. So for years, what's been happening is they come early in the morning and they have to verify. They have to count ballots, okay? What I'm asking the commission, Maria, and I think this would be much more efficient and potentially much more effective, is we have them come in a day or 2 days before, right? And legal counsel, if you can look into this. And what they will do under the guidance of the Guam Election Commission staff is verify everything. Vacuum seal the ballots. Have them, you know how we have to sign off on envelopes, you know, if you see a broken signature, something to secure the ballots most especially. How many pens and clipboards they have, honestly, is like, you know, really irrelevant. It's the ballots that we're concerned about and all the other documents. So if the commission can find a way that they can do this prior to, at least they get it done. Do you understand? They get it done prior to that morning, unless it's law that they have to do everything that morning, right? They seal it, go through it, and then the morning of, they come in, they report, everything is released, signed out by the commission officials, right? And they go to their, and then while they're there, also as part of your training, I am respectfully asking that, yes, I'm not saying it's not being done. I'm just saying, remind them, if you have 50, I know it sounds like I'm getting into the nitty gritty thing, but when I go around and I see these things happening, I'm like, oh, such a waste of time. If you vacuum sealed or you sealed the ballots in stacks of 50, remind them, hey, you don't need to open all 1,000 of them. Do it as you go. That should, like, if you can just remind them, make it part of their training. I've seen where they, I walked into a precinct and they had like 1,000 ballots and there was like 5 people in line and they're opening it up. And I'm like, why are you opening that? And the person said, because they told us to. And I said, no, it's already sealed. It's marked, right? Marked 50 ballots, 50 ballots, 50 ballots, or 25, I forget what it was. And I said, sweetheart, at the end of the night, you're going to have to count that. So I'm hoping that if it's already sealed, it's not open. At the end of the night, they have 900 unopened. They didn't use it. They're ready to go, right? They can reconcile faster, right? So my hope is that it just makes it easier for the Guam Election Commission team and the precinct officials. Can you please look into that and maybe provide a plan? I don't know if the commissioners, how you feel about it. I just observing and.
Ma'am, since our conversation, we've talked and we want to incorporate, we are planning to incorporate it into the precinct official training. We will just have to have them a little longer instead of the 3 hours, and that's okay with us. So we are now looking into a type of label that will adhere to the plastic wrap, and that will tear if you're going to take it off if the seal is broken, and that will be signed by all 5 of them when they come. The challenge is that we get. I respectfully request that the parties make known to their precinct official nominees that it's important that they come to the training when the training is scheduled. We've updated the precinct official training schedule to accommodate that. So to accommodate the change in the process. So bear with us. We sent out the schedule updates, and we are working on doing that. We'll report back to you at the next meeting.
Can precinct officials from another precinct come and join another precinct in the event they were unable to make their scheduled training date? Like Dedito's scheduled for tomorrow, but they couldn't make it. Hoggett is the next day and they can join them. Can they?
That's the challenge we have with counting the ballots at that time, because,
No, because you're talking about training.
correct.
So when you talk about counting ballots and preparing for election day, that would be
On
also
the
training
same-
day?
Yes, that's what we're looking at. That would get the precinct officials to come to us only once, and talking to the staff, it is viable that way, rather than having them come back and again for that day.
Okay. Okay, so give us the information and we'll ensure that the parties put it out there and,
So we can let you know now that the trainings will last longer than the 3 hours. Okay?
yep, thank you, yeah. It's another reason to increase the pay. Yep, okay.
Do they get paid for the, I guess they don't get paid during the training, right?
Well, it's a stipend, so that is inclusive of that. So if you take, did you count even the training hours? Yeah, so we took the training hours and the average number of hours they spend at the return center, and it comes to about $19 an hour. Mhm. And we were conservative with that. But they do have the ultimate responsibility of running the election.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, $16. $16.
Okay. Not worth my time. But that's without benefits, so. It's just, yeah. Opportunity cost, right? Okay.
Add something? Yeah, I think the compensation should factor in that they work straight through, you know, they can't leave, take breaks, and, you know, the kinds of get in your car and go take a breather, and, you know, they do that kind of stuff. And then they're working late hours, and every other employee would get differential pay to work anytime past 6 p.m., which our polls are still open. That doesn't even include transporting and going to count, right? And then the training hours, now that it's going to increase, I think all justify an increase. So I think we should take that up, that consideration.
All right.
Legal counsel and I have talked about it, and we still need to look into it. If legal counsel deems that it needs to go before the legislature, do I have your permission to go and ask?
Yeah. Yeah. Do we need a motion for that? No, right? Okay. All right. Thank you, Maria.
Madam Chair, just one. Maria, in the event that this individual scheduled for training and he or she didn't show up, okay, for example, that the person maybe is under the weather and he still wants to be a precinct official, can he still come in and do a makeup, or is he out already?
In the past, we make them second priority. What we do is, we do have alternates being trained. So if there are alternates in that training session, we will pull them and put them into that place. If we don't have alternates, we do, every single election, we do schedule makeup sessions because of the necessity. And I wish there wasn't, because again, the challenge is to get them all together to sign off on the counting of the ballots. When we put that in place.
The entire team has to be there.
Yeah, but, okay, going back to what Commissioner or Madam Chair mentioned about the increasing the pay, I think if we do that, then there will be more people trying to apply for the precinct official rather than going into trying to get them in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That will be an incentive for these people to come in and apply. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I had a question. Maria, do we have any status as to where the parties are at as far as the recruitment? And if it's like close to being filled by July 6th, then, or maybe filled by July 6th, then maybe there's no need to increase the pay because then you filled them. Or, I mean, I know for the Republican side, they're having a difficult time filling even half of not even half, or even 90% of the positions.
It's hard.
And the 350 isn't even enough to entice them.
Yeah.
With regard to the status of the precinct officials, we've sent out, I think, and we've looked. Yes, the Republicans have not even half. The Democrats have more than half, almost, maybe 75% of them are filled.
I think there needs to be an incentive. Yeah.
75% of the 190 they need. Yeah. So it's 335 altogether plus alternates. Divide that in half, and that's what each party has to do.
I mean, what I've been hearing is it's not the pay so much as the hours.
The hours, yeah.
And we scare them. We say, you start at 6 or 7, and you may go till 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it depends on your man.
And they're standing on their feet.
Yeah.
So that's it's tough. Yeah.
They're not allowed to take smoke breaks either, right?
Cannot smoke at the schools.
Oh,
Yeah, schools. Yes.
Yes, we do. We've been feeding them. And dinner. I'm sorry? No, no breakfast. Okay, okay.
But when they do check out, they get a water bottle and a sandwich.
Maria, you need to give them something in the morning and a snack, fruit or something, water to drink, not just one bottle of water, but I don't know, that's a long time. No.
So for lunch and dinner, yeah, and what we're planning to do, ma'am, is because
And if you're
it's-
going to give them a sandwich, give them at least 2 or 3. Oh my gosh.
I feel bad for them last.
Yeah.
we started buying 2 years ago, 2 election cycles. That's when we started buying, when he went to Dedido and they weren't fed, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time that we revisit this and see how we can make it better for the,
Yeah.
and more efficient too, right?
Yeah.
But start them out with a smile. Give them some fried rice and some coffee in the morning. Geez,
Sir,
Yeah, big key, yeah.
The election, so.
not only that, sir, they're gonna eat the fried rice and maybe they'll use your hands. What is your ballot gonna look like?
Yeah, I just.
Well, we will buy them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, ma'am.
Okay. And a snack in between. Oh. Jeez. Okay. District registration, precinct officials, monthly voter by precinct?
That's on page 22. Ma'am, we were hoping to be able to give you the report on the DMV from the past. We should be able to do that, we're hoping in the next 2 weeks. But we do have, we're reporting May, so we're so we now have 52,209. That's as of May. So June, we were hoping to get you a report. We're working on it. We should get you a report for June, and hopefully all the DMV since November 2020 to February 2022, which we haven't reported.
Okay. When is the roster, when is the last day
I don't
for the roster to have all the information in so that rosters can be printed?
Okay. So the last day of registration is August 17th. That's a hard day for us because we will have our district registrars will be in line after 8 o'clock. So we're looking at 3 days before the election to be able to have a roster for the parties.
Wow.
Okay. The other thing, ma'am, we were looking at was to line out all the early voters. Hence, that would be a good safeguard for all of us, for both the parties, so that you will know who voted early from the roster already.
So with regard to early voting, Alice Tarn comes in, I vote early, you're gonna have the actual roster?
Say it again, ma'am?
You're gonna have an actual roster to cross me out, or,
No, no, no,
okay.
no, no.
You're hoping to print the rosters, and then by that time, you would have had all the names of the early voters, go through the rosters to cross them out?
Yeah, so we will do it electronically.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, say that one more time?
Okay. So voter registration, district registration ends August 17th. Early voting ends August 19th. So what we hope to be able to do is line out all the early voters on the final roster.
So it'll be done before.
Yeah, we're looking into the system, and that's something that we want to do so that it's easier for the precinct officials when they're down there already, when somebody comes up and they say that it's already lined out, that they voted early already.
And it's gonna be indicated
Yes.
early vote.
When it's lined out already, that we're going to teach the precinct officials that means they voted early. So when they call their name, when they're processing the absentee ballots, they will write in, after they call the name, voted absentee.
In the event somebody falls through the cracks, the safeguard there is that even if I voted early, I come to the polls, it's not crossed out for whatever reason, we didn't get to it, didn't happen, right? Whatever the case may be, that I'm allowed to vote. So what happens is, and this is for public edification, so that they're aware, that the individual can come and vote again, right? But when they pull, for example, Alice Tarn voted early, they pull my ballot out, they call it, the precinct officials are gonna see voted, that I voted already. So they take that ballot, they'll indicate on that ballot, vote, or not the ballot, but the envelope, voted, came in to vote. And then what happens is at the end of the night, the commissioners are given those things, and we make a determination if this was fraud, right? Attempted to vote twice, and then we send them to the AG's office, correct? So that's a safeguard, so that people aren't concerned about double voting. There's if I'm not mistaken.
The problem with that is if they voted at the precinct and submitted a ballot in the box, there's no way to know which ballot that person voted for, right? So there's another question on intent.
Like changing their vote too?
Yeah.
Because they voted early and then they decided, ooh, that's not the person I wanted to vote for.
Yeah, and see,
So
no
they-
one has that option.
Right.
And all you're doing by doing this is you're inviting people to say, oh, I voted early, I'm going to change my vote and just go in and vote. And so it's very important that these guys have the opportunity to cross out that. I mean, there may be some that are missed, and hopefully, you either make a decision, because the law says if people vote twice, neither votes count. The problem is you can't pull that ballot back out of the box.
Is
Would
there
that
any-
be treated like a
But-
provisional ballot?
I think it would be better but the problem is you don't know if they
know that
voted.
they voted early if it's not crossed.
Yeah, but if you treat it like a provisional ballot, right, that is a set aside,
Yeah.
and then it will be reconciled later.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know if
But
they
you won't
were-
know that person needed
You
to
don't
be
know to
provisional.
give them a provisional ballot.
Yeah, because they're not marked at all, like if they fall through the cracks. Is there anything against us having the precinct officials finish off marking before letting the first voter in.
You're going to let a lot of voters.
No, yeah, because they're going to wait
because
in
we have a
line.
lot of.
I understand they
yeah.
come before, and I'm more concerned about Dedido. We have 900 some registered
Yeah.
voters, and I know everybody wants to come early, and sometimes we have a lot of early voters, right?
I mean, the only
So
thing I could
we don't
think
get
of
through it.
is, and I don't know if this is possible, Maria, but every day when you guys reconcile the early votes, it gets put in somehow into the system.
Like
Remember,
already
we
mark
talked,
it.
so that when they print out the ledger, it shows already that they voted. So there's no human requirement to cross the line.
You mean have a sheet that has early voters?
No, so every day when they reconcile who voted at early voting, they enter that into the system showing they voted absentee. And so at the early voting site, so that when they print out the roster, on the roster it's crossed out.
She said
Oh,
that's what
okay.
you're gonna do, but
Or
that's,
highlighted or something.
Or, yeah.
Okay.
Something to identify.
she said that's the intention this year, but I think our concern earlier was people could still fall through the cracks. We're still human, and we make human errors, and so if we forget someone, how do we catch the double?
That's the problem.
Right.
That would be the provisional ballot, right?
But if I came in and I fell through the cracks and they forgot to mark my name, and I came in early, I came in at 7, I got a ballot and I voted, I already put it in the box, and it wasn't till, because it's Dedido, 9:30 in the
Well, they
morning,
don't
you
check.
finally got to me, and they're like, oh, Carissa Pangilinan already voted, shoot, her ballot's in there. What Vince is saying is, there's no way to pull my ballot out of that box at that point to not count either of my votes.
Right.
Okay, but it won't be a double vote. I get it. I get that the law states you can't, right?
The law says if someone puts in 2 ballots, neither of them should count.
Understood. Should it happen, however, Maria, be sure we have in place the procedure and/or the process, because the precinct official is not going to open the envelope. They're going to call it out first. Then they're going to look to see if, right? And if they see that Carissa Pangilinan voted twice, right, they're going to mark that envelope that says came in to vote, and it's going to go to the commission. I get the 2 right now. It's going to go to the commission. And at that point in time, because there's no way to pull that person's ballot, it is illegal, and the commissioners will forward the individual's name to the AG's office for investigation and potential prosecution, right?
That's up to you.
No, but that is what the commissioners will do, because don't have anything right now with regard to how do we determine what ballot there is. So the best that we can do is, or their intent, is we send the names to the AG's office, and
But that ballot's going to get counted.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. One of them is going to.
And that's to me a bigger problem, because if people know they can do that, you don't know what could happen. And then that calls into question the whole process.
so then the Guam Election Commission has to ensure that all the early voters are
Yeah.
crossed out.
And is there a way, Maria, as they do that process, that there's a quality check, a second check to ensure that no one falls to that crack? I don't know how we would guarantee that, but.
Yeah. So it's reconciled every night. And so every night it's reconciled, and every night, or sometime the next day, they will be put in precinct order. So we will see how many voted in that precinct. I want to bring up a request that has been made by the parties in terms of getting a list of these early voters on a daily basis. That actually helps the commission if we can get them the list. I've been protective of the list because of the signatures on the logbook. But if it's okay with the commissioners that we give a daily list to the party, mind you, and I'll make sure that the signatures don't show, then the parties can help us with that in terms of verifying whose vote. No? Okay. No. and it's not a, they call me and they say, they call me with with the voter registry, with the roster, with the registration, when when they request for lists, the parties or the candidates request for lists, they call me with discrepancies, and that helps us a lot. And yes, we're processing thousands of registration now, so we do make mistakes. So that helps us. So during early voting, it's a matter of, we have a log, they sign it, and it's a matter of whether we should give parties a copy of that log sheet on, we'll try for a daily basis, if that's okay.
There's two issues here. One is the privacy of the voter, right? And then the other thing is, I understand you want the parties, but it's not the party's responsibility to clean up the
That-
voter. Days before the election, so they know who voted early and can vet that. But I wouldn't do it during the early time.
How
So
can,
everyone's going to get the list eventually, and the list is going to show who voted early. Then it's up to them for whatever purpose the parties use it for, but not for trying to clean up.
no, I don't think that's that's what the party does. That's the GEC's responsibility.
Yeah, that's why.
It's basically to have on hand, right, their lists are showing already who's voted. Now, you bring up privacy, but how can there be privacy of the individual when they call out the names when the person comes to vote?
On election day, not before election day.
During the early voting absentee, we're not calling out?
Ballots are
not?
not being
I
cast.
asked that question too
Okay.
when we were vetting this. I
Right.
said, if they do it already at the early voting, then what's the difference, right? But they don't.
It's only on
It's
election
only
day.
on election day for the purpose of the poll watchers and for the purpose of the roster.
Okay.
And that's when they're pulling the envelopes out of the absentee bins.
Is there a way legally we can verify those early voters the day of the election before the voters come in? So earlier, Chair was
When do they
asking
get the
about
list?
reconciling prior to election day, maybe that time in the morning would,
When
can
do
be used
when do the
instead?
parties get the list?
Anywhere from 3 days to just the day before.
Yeah, so the parties are gonna get the list with the showing the crossouts for those that voted early. So the parties can already do what they need to do with,
Oh, I see.
um,
Like generate their own
yeah.
list to, okay.
What does this list look like, Maria? It's the same roster that,
yeah. It's the voter roster. The official voter roster,
But it'll be marked.
yeah.
Yeah, but Maria, to me, it's more of a GEC responsibility. So you've got 5 days between the end of early voting and the election. It seems that's ample time to mark the roster, the one that voters have to sign when they come into the precinct. That should be marked and, either highlighted or, in red or something, where if they voted, it is evident right there that they can't physically, they can't sign in because everybody,
Right.
yeah. And, that would seem to address the problem.
We try, after the last day of early voting, after the last day of registration, we're doing our best to clean it up, and we will clean it up. Our big challenge is that we don't have capacity to print in-house, so we have to get that to the printer. And that's what takes a little bit. Yes, the big roster bricks. Yeah, graphic center. Graphic center, yeah. Hmm. A day and a half. Yeah. Yes, 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 yeah, yeah.
Like
And-
at the end of the
yeah,
evening,
yeah,
at the end of
yeah,
each
yeah,
evening,
yeah.
they start marketing,
Yeah,
start
yeah.
doing it.
So
then,
thank goodness for the new law where we close the early voting early. This is the first time we're going to have 5 days to do all that. First time.
yeah, but Maria, don't wait. Every night for early voting, you gotta do it.
And thank you, because with early voting too, we have the 1 day off on Monday. Remember, we close Monday. That's what we need to do. We start cleaning and verifying, validating all that data. Thank you.
Okay. I really don't think we should have gone out to the schools on Saturdays. I don't think we should have gone out to the schools. I mean, there's just so much to do now with the referendum and you open the GEC from 9 to 7 Monday through Friday, or or 10 what? Or 10 to 6.
Saturdays 10 to 6? 10 to 6 on Saturday?
How many thousands
The last
for
time.
those 3 satellite rooms?
We have those numbers. I don't have it with me.
I mean,
We
the
s-
the overall turnout was still low.
Yeah.
Yeah,
regardless, so-
and most of them were early voters. Yeah, because we had over 12,000 early voters. Yeah. Oh, and one of the things we brought up was during that time of early voting, that was the only thing they could do, was lockdown. So, yeah, and so we're trying to figure out if they will show up for, if the hospitality tents will welcome them to show up on election day versus early voting.
Probably at the satellites. Didn't they do that last time? They had
Yes.
hospitality tents at the
Yes.
satellites.
They
Saturday
did.
events.
The three places
Yeah.
on Saturdays had hospitality. It was like mini events.
How many people do you have on staff?
We have 13. We're picking up, we're supposed to pick up 20 altogether. So far, we've picked up 12. And this time I was just explaining to the staff, this time for recruiting temporary staff, we have we have competition. As soon as we say it's temporary, they frown because there are jobs out there available for them. It went up to, we're paying them now $10.29.
Well, I'm just thinking about the satellite, right? The cost effectiveness of it and the efficiency of it, and is it really needed, given everything else that the Guam Election Commission needs to do, right? The time constraints that are placed upon us, as in, we have to get all of this done before Election Day, 5 days, right? You have your teams working overtime, right? I don't know if the satellite, I get wanting to make it as convenient as possible for people around the island, but there's Election Day. You can come out Election Day, and it's all over. It's the entire island, right? When I went to Moleso for that last, I didn't see people coming out, so I don't know that it's gonna be efficient, because then it's gonna be extra work again for the commission team. They have to sort everything when they could be focusing on updating the roster, right? Concentrating and focusing on that so that people don't fall through the cracks, right? So I don't know. I don't know how the commission, I don't like the satellites.
Maybe in lieu of the satellites, you can extend the
The
office
hours.
hour by like an hour, or
Yeah.
either close late 1 hour, or open early 1 hour. Not to give up your Monday, but just to. We'll go. Right.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work-wise. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big concern. That is a big concern. Right. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be fair to just extend
Maybe extend
hour,
another hour,
1 hour?
Maria, or,
and get rid of the Saturdays? Maria?
Yep.
Okay, we've publicized the schedule.
Oh, already?
Yeah, I've been
I
on the
thought you said
radio.
it was tentative.
No, you guys approved the schedule last time.
I know, but you said it was tentative.
Not that schedule, because I asked you to approve it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Better not hear it.
yeah, you can change it, just so you can change it. I haven't published anything, but when I get on their talk shows, I've told them about the satellites.
Well, how do the commissioners feel? I mean, given everything that they have to do, the referendum, all of these things that are coming up now, right? It's the research, the time that has to go into that for the staff as well. I'm really concerned that come close to election, we're going to say, oh, we couldn't do it because there was just a lot. We can't have that.
I'm really okay with canceling it, and it's up to the commissioners.
Madam
Do you
Chair,
feel-
we voted on it prior to realizing that the 6 initiatives were going to move forward. So I think at this point, we can take it, and yeah, it's not that we don't want to do it, but there are new facts to present here and consider.
Yep. How do the commissioners feel? Okay. Jerry?
Well, you know, is it decided yet that the initiatives are going forward?
There's the work involved with the initiative. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have 25 days, which will now be July 21st is when I need to provide you with the summaries of the short titles and provide a summary. And then you guys need to vote on whether those summaries are sufficient for the public. Once you guys certify the summaries, then it's up to the proponent to start the petition process, right? So the petition, assuming the dates, he submitted the date on June 21st, the petition circulation must begin on July 21st, the day you certify, right? And they have 120 days, but because 120 days would be past the general election, that is shortened. And so then they have to make sure that that's submitted by September 19. So their 120 days is now shortened to September 19. And then you need to go certify those petitions and go through that's 6 petitions and thousands of signatures potentially. You have to confirm and certify by October 9th, because by October 19th, all of the pamphlets need to be sent out. It must be sent out October 9th, 30 days before the election for each initiative or referendum. That's thousands for every, it's for every initiative.
And we also have early voting before the general.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe maybe your early voting should just be limited to the to the Weston at, yeah, given the resources, lack of.
With regard to the initiatives versus referendums, right? I mean, we're just in the process of just summarizing what they are now. And so who knows what's going to happen? I don't know.
Vince, does that require, I'm sorry, legal, does that require the GEC to put out an entire education campaign on the initiatives?
Yes. The pamphlet. You need to get arguments, especially if it's a referendum, you have to get proponents and opponents, print out the pamphlets. Those pamphlets need to be mailed to every voter 30 days before the general.
And there's still the question of the fiscal impact statement.
And see, we need to get the fiscal impact statement from BBMR, which we hope we can get your help with. But that doesn't have to until we certify that it's going to move forward.
Okay. All right. And just keep the early voting to the Weston. What did we say, Monday through Friday? Tuesday?
Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 6. 10 to 6, I'm sorry.
10 to
Tuesday
6?
through Friday, 10 to 6.
I think that's reasonable.
No.
So if we limit that, I mean, if we just stick to the third days, 10 to 6, Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 6, then the anticipated turnout may be higher or lower because we don't have the satellites. I think some people are used to the satellites from a couple of years ago, and they'll wait for that, but, and we didn't publish the satellite anyways yet, right?
We did.
You announced it informally.
Yes, that's correct. But no,
yeah.
we haven't made our own
But
ads on them.
again, given this new development
Yeah.
with the initiatives, I think that
Thank you.
is it's going to put the commission in a quandary here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing, Maria, that you need to take up is, let people know that this is where we're at. We also need to announce that there's only going to be 2 sites now in Dedido, and then, of course, our resolution here, right? So, okay. Well, independent member, the 2 parties have stated, is there anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, I see a lot of problems coming. A lot of work and a lot of problems caused by these initiatives. I'm not opposed to initiatives, but I think we need to look at whether that process needs to start several months earlier than what
Yeah.
it's, I mean, because we're talking, maybe 3,000 votes necessary. How many votes were cast for governor total?
So for the referendum, we need 7,000 signatures, 7,000 plus. And for the initiatives, we need 5,000.
Yeah, okay. So 3,500 for,
5,000 some for initiatives and 7,000 some for
well, one is 10%, the other is 20%.
20%.
So it
But
should
one
be the
is,
same.
no. One is 10% of the registered voters. The bottom line is registered voters and those that voted for the governor. Yeah, 2 different pots.
Yeah, okay. And those have to, and if you have 6 initiatives, let's say, or a combination of initiatives and referendums.
Yeah, so that's 7,000 times 6.
Yeah, that you have to vet.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think that's going to be,
Crazy.
yeah, crazy. We'll have to get Benny to come down.
First he has to get the signatures.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
And you don't have very much time by the time that he turns in the petitions to the time you need to publish and mail out the
yeah.
brochures. The brochures.
So that means the commission has to be prepared to drop an agenda for a meeting, to call a meeting ASAP, just to address that. Right?
And there's some else that we need to think about. If those measures make it, we need to think about the UOCAVA ballots. So the schedule is conflicting. The schedule for measures is conflicting with the schedule for UOCAVA ballots.
Okay, so do we have a motion? Can we get a motion?
Well,
I have a
before you-
headache already.
Before the motion, just to kind of like hit some of the highlights we've talked about, we need to feed our, precinct officials better. We need to pay them more. The precinct leaders perhaps should get higher pay. On the early voters, we need to get the ballot, the roster book updated to reflect who's voted, and do that like on a nightly basis. And if we do that, I don't think the concern about people falling in the cracks will at least, I mean, there won't be very many people who can fall through that if the roster books are updated. But how to deal with, is there any, I don't know, we have to really think about the burden and whether we can meet the demands if we get all these initiatives on the ballot. That's, okay, so.
So we need, given all of that information, everything that the Guam Election Commission is now currently faced with, right? This unexpected request for referendum and/or initiatives. In light of that, can we get a motion on the floor, a motion to, what's the term, withdraw or cancel the early voting satellites in Moleso, Maynilao, and Dedido? Okado, right? I think that's one. And Pat, you forgot to work with the precinct officials during their training to make things a lot more efficient in that, like, packaging and getting all of that certified prior to the day of election, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So just a motion to
You want to do one at a time?
retract. Do we need to do one at a time? To cancel? Oh, cancel the early voting satellite offices.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move a motion to cancel the early voting satellites in Moleso, in Manilao, and in Dedido.
Right, there's a motion on the floor. Second.
Okay.
Second. Any discussion?
No,
No?
will that help?
Much. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, all those opposed? You guys have it. So Maria, the satellite stations that have been canceled, please make sure that we get public notice out, right? And talk to the parties about it. Just say these referendums came about and it's really going to be burdensome. And just so that people know that we're still going to have, is it 30 days? 30 days of early voting? No, it's less. Oh, 20. Okay.
We
But
start
we're
on the 30th.
We're
yeah.
still going to have a whole,
Yeah.
they still have a lot of time. It's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be at the West End.
Mhm.
This is, yeah. Okay. And there's still election day.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Right.
no disenfranchisement. And then just give us a plan with regard to what Commissioner Seville brought up. Any other questions or discussions regarding that? We are now at, where are we? Monthly voter online. We did volunteer voter registrar report, right? Oh. We did online motor voter? Yes. Okay. Volunteer voter registrar report. page 24.
24, huh?
Any questions, anything we should be concerned about?
No, we're still training next month.
Okay. All right. Any discussions or questions for Maria on the volunteer registrar voter? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Monthly, no discussion, monthly financial?
Ma'am, I don't, so we're still good, but we're still anxiously waiting for our supplemental bill to go before the legislative session.
Okay.
Ma'am, we are signing the contract today, or it's being processed today. Today's the day we're supposed to sign the contract for Weston.
Okay.
Yeah. Luckily, we only have to certify for the 3 months in this fiscal year.
All right. Old business, or, let me see, we went through all of them. Old business, executive director?
Legal counsel and I put together the email, the memo. We sent it to the director of administration. We haven't heard back from them.
Okay, I'll follow up. 2022 early voting center?
Again, we'll sign the contract today.
Okay. Any questions or discussions with anything? Nope, all right. I apologize, we did move new business up to the top. I forgot about the board resolution,
Yeah.
right?
So-
8A. Okay. Oh, we didn't move A up, that's right, okay. So board resolution, this is relative to the electioneering perimeters.
Yeah, so this is standard since the elections. It's for several of the polling sites. The first one is PD. It's on page 28. These we've addressed in the past, and we just need to do it for every single election.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you need to pass.
We need a motion?
You need a motion.
Sorry, Maria, I don't have that here. Okay, can I ask, before we just,
Sure.
questions, right? Just for public edification and information, when we say electioneering, we mean standing there with signs, wearing the T-shirts, right? We can't walk in there with a T-shirt or anything that shows, whoever we're voting for, we like, right? Okay, just wanted to be clear with that. Signage, are we gonna have signage in all these areas showing that you have to be 25 feet away? We're gonna mark it? And then who does enforcement?
This time, we have the help of GPD with a new law. So we will, GEC can contact GPD, and we're working with them right now for early voting, and we will point to them about the new law that says we can ask for their help with electioneering as well.
Okay. It'd be a good thing to inform the parties, right? Just to remind them of that. And then, did the teams go out and measure?
Not yet, ma'am. These, as you know, these are really, they already know where to measure,
Okay.
but we do this a few days or a week before the election.
Just for clarification on pneumatic, item number 2. I'm not nitpicking, but, people get kind of sensitive, right? From the mayor's office or the mayor's office exit entrance, the door, right? And there's a gate there. So from the mayor's office, that small, I think it's the size of this room. I think this room is bigger than that. So we're looking at measuring from the entrance there out, and that's where electioneering can begin, right?
I think
50
they
feet.
measure from the concrete pad, or, if you notice, right outside. So they measure from there.
Okay. Okay.
It's not a garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with regard to JFK, I know the last election was really difficult for everybody because where people are situated is as soon as you enter, there's the guard, so it's behind the guard's place, right? And it's really far from the left of the guard station, right?
When you're coming in, it's to the left, yeah. Right.
So that's dangerous.
Outside.
Outside is
Yeah,
dangerous,
so,
okay.
so,
There
so,
isn't anything we can do to bring them closer?
no. Have them inside the gate.
No, I know, but it's very far from where people are, right? So like they park up there and then they have to walk down to the hospitality tent, or they drive around and just asking. Voting takes place in the school.
In the school. The first, no, in classrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the parking behind the guard where she's talking? That's the ROTC area. The one that's behind the guardhouse now.
That's where they are.
No,
says
it's
here
on
to
the
the
left.
The guards
And they don't like that, so, yeah. Tell them where.
right.
Sure. Really? Why?
On the grass side. Where all the signs are at. Outside of the gate.
So why did we move to JFK? It's bigger?
I think it would be safer at JFK, wouldn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
at Tamuning, right?
and it was one way out, one way in.
Okay. All right.
No, it's Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
And then when people are waiting outside and the traffic on the right lane to turn in, it causes.
That's why they should be in the gate.
So we're in the gate.
Good if it's at JFK that they were allowed inside.
They are,
They are. It's the left.
they
You're
are,
talking about the hospitality tent.
they are.
Yes, they're inside, but there's people outside waving.
They are in the tent, but, I mean, inside the gate.
No, he's right, because they're waving at motorists, right?
Yeah.
So they're outside of the gate. Yeah.
They're all over the place.
Yeah,
Hospitality
it's
center inside.
I think wasn't the Republicans outside?
Yeah.
Yes,
Must have been.
yes, can you tell them to go inside?
Republicans can never get in. We're always on the outside, you know? Yeah, yeah,
They do when they sign off.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just saying because the hospitality tent is just far.
Yeah.
Supposed to be set up close to
Tamuning resident recommended.
The
Yeah.
question is, my question is, where would the Tamuning people want it? We're inside, we are inside. Oh, no, besides that.
I'm just telling you because I'm on the municipal planning council and this is what they asked.
But why I mean, JFK's larger.
It's just, it's less congested because not many people compare, if you
Oh,
compare.
Chalon San Antonio
Chalon San
versus
Antonio to
Route 1.
Marine Drive,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very different traffic
Oh,
pattern.
I think it was brought to our attention that if you have a funeral on Saturday,
Tamuning doesn't have funerals on Saturday anymore. No, it's just, now they don't.
We ran out of Catholics.
Okay.
Father Mike says no.
No viewing.
Yeah.
No viewing.
Yeah.
But Vince, this is but Tamuning Elementary is less parking for voters, don't
Yeah.
they?
It's just smaller altogether.
It's smaller, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a reason we moved. I mean,
I
there
just
was
don't-
a-
And
there was
then,
a
no, it
stru-
was the accessible.
Unanimous consent.
Yeah.
Accessible.
Accessible,
Agreement of the
yeah.
board to move it.
The
because
accessible
it wasn't
voting, also
working.
the seats inside, because it's
Yeah.
an elementary school, it was difficult for those who needed accessible, you know,
Yeah,
smaller, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
The desks and chairs are small.
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
And I think there were also, as I recall, problems with the school administration about, about our stuff getting moved around or not being ready. So it was unhappy on multiple levels. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
it was moved. Except for
Except for the municipal planning council.
Except for the voters.
oh, those people. They're always bitching. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, so we can't move out of JFK right now. But,
Well, can we table this until next
yeah,
meeting?
yeah. No, just, do we need to vote on this?
So we can
Okay.
table it until next meeting?
Okay. All right. Okay, are we done with anything else?
Huh?
We're done with everything else? Did we cover everything, Maria?
Yeah, exactly, inside the fence or
All right.
by the statue?
So legal counsel report? Legal counsel report, we've covered everything. So for old business, Maria, would be the board resolution, carry it over, okay? Legal counsel's report?
Okay, during the vetting process of the submission of all the petitions, it was brought to Maria and then eventually to me. There were two documents or two petitions that we believe all the signatures on those petitions were forged.
All?
All.
Is it because it's the same pen and same?
It's same handwriting, same pen. So I said, Maria, can we verify signatures? We pulled the AORs. The signatures do not match. We pulled their driver's license. The signatures do not match. And so my recommendation, it's two petitions for two different candidates. And I just recommend we forward the petitions with the driver's license signatures and the AOR signatures to the Attorney General for disposition.
Okay.
Is the circulator's name on those
Oh, yes.
petitions on the bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, to recommend to forward the information to the Attorney General.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move a motion to forward these discrepancies to the Attorney General's office for further disposition.
No, go ahead and second it.
Yeah, go ahead, do the motion. Or do
Yeah.
you want to discuss? I have something else to add to the,
He seconded.
before you.
So
Yeah.
did you want us to withdraw? We can discuss.
No, yeah, discuss
Okay.
before you vote.
So there's a motion on the floor to forward to the Attorney General's office these two petitions with, that the Guam Election Commission has reviewed and has deemed that signatures on that petition are forged. There's a motion on the floor, seconded by,
I think we just say questionable signatures because
Questionable
we don't know
signatures.
if it's
Alleged,
forged. Yeah,
yeah.
let them handle
questionable
that.
signatures, okay. And seconded, is there a discussion?
No, I just want to let the commission know that even though those signatures were not counted for certification, the two candidates still
Met the threshold?
were allowed to proceed. They had enough signatures, in other words. So even without counting those signatures. So
Are the candidates aware of this?
No.
No, not yet,
And
not yet.
neither of them are the candidates, right?
the candidates are not
They
the,
didn't circulate.
no,
No.
no, no, no.
Because that would
Yeah, this falls on the circulator.
I think we should note, I mean, I don't have any problem with, if they were forged, turning it over to the AG. I think we should, as a courtesy, we should let the candidates know so they're not blindsided by this.
Yeah, but we don't have a definite, decision on one way or the other, right? We're just,
You know, and we can say we're just, this is the, we simply tell them what we're doing. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a secret, yeah.
Yeah, and I recommended that to Maria.
Yeah, and they should,
Yeah.
yes, you're correct. Thank you,
Yeah.
Is it-
Commissioner Savell, that the candidates should be informed, just so that they're aware, and they're not blindsided, because, and that the action that the commission's going to take is to forward.
Correct.
Was there any other discussion on that issue, legal?
No.
May I ask, would it be just the candidates we inform?
Would it be what?
Would it be just the candidates we inform?
Or the circulator? Legal counsel?
No, we're not
Yeah,
we're not investigating it. So, but I think we should let the candidates know, yeah.
yeah, I mean, we don't know who the relationship between the circulator and the candidate, right? And so I think it's good that we at least let the candidate know so that they know someone who was circulating their petition may not have been doing the right thing.
Reveal the identity of the circulator to the candidate?
We can give them a copy of the petition because it's their petition.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they would have
They
it.
would have seen it.
Right.
yeah.
Not necessarily. The candidates may not necessarily have seen the petition.
Yeah, that's correct.
You're right.
You know, there is,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
there's this is, it's what you get if you watch TV at 2 in the morning. There's a Netflix show on right now that am killing me because the only thing I remember about it is in the early segment, one of the storylines was a candidate running for office, and then they discovered that, and nobody was signing his petition. He was new to town, and nobody was signing his petition. So he just forged all the signatures, and then he got caught. So anyway, art imitates life, or life imitates art.
Wow.
Actually, this is not the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
We've run into these situations before.
Yeah.
But it's caught a lot of times early on.
Prior to it.
Yeah.
I've seen it and I question some of those things and I think
Yeah.
it's bad. But, you know, people will try to get away with what they think they can get away with. That's human nature.
That's too bad. So there is a motion on the floor. There is no further discussion. The motion was seconded to move these petitions forward, right, to the AG's office for their disposition. Right? All those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. All those opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Maria and legal counsel work together to prepare a letter for them. Okay. And Maria, you will also provide the petitions to the candidates and to inform them, courtesy. Right? Okay, thank you. No further legal report? Public comments? There's no public present? All right, we can adjourn? We're good?
Good adjourn.
All right, so this meeting is adjourned until July 14th. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Where's our calendar?
Great
That's
day.
a Thursday, correct, Maria?
Okay.
And July 14th, that's a Thursday. Did we need, what time, 5:30 is okay, or do we need us, do you need us earlier? Okay, 5:30, all right. 5 o'clock? 4:30, how's everybody's? 4:30? Pat?
We'll try, sure, try. Okay, we'll try that.
4:30? Okay. All right, so this meeting of the Guam Election Commission is adjourned until Thursday, July 14th, 2022 at 4:30 PM to be held at the Guam Election Commission Conference Room, second floor, Oka Building, Tumuning, Guam. Right?
Okay.
That was a motion, I'm sorry. Right, I need a motion.
We
Right, we need a motion?
Yeah, motion to adjourn?
Motion
Second.
carries.
Second?
Second.
Okay, I gotta go.
All right.
Well done.
4:30.
That was a very long meeting.
Yeah, but we got that done. Just be prepared, we are not going to have short meetings.